Yo, allow me to reintroduce myself, in case you don't know. My name's UmaxHD, and this is another video on Jump Force and the state of the anime community, and, World Seeker.
Yeah. Straight up, hey.
Now, I would please advise everyone to watch the video all the way to the end and then comment. I don't want any confusion, because that really could be a bother. And I'd like to have a discussion, a normal argument with anyone that disagrees. Like, I really like having arguments with people, and I'm sure y'all do too. So please, I'd really like to see everyone's views on this topic, because this is a very serious problem. Okay, we cool. So please watch all the way through and comment, please. This video is gonna focus more on the two latest anime games, Jump Force and World Seeker, and the history of anime games, kind of. So let's take a trip back to memory lane. When I first got Jump Force, I pre-ordered it the day before it came out, so no, that was mistake number one. Jump Force had come out. I was ready to play. I was like, now this, I think for me, I had already played a lot of the beta, because I had the bug as to where I could play the beta till it was basically a demo at this point. I could play the demo till the game dropped. So that already burned me out from the combat system, which is good. Don't get me wrong. The combat system in Jump Force is one of its only saving grace. So I get Jump Force. I look into the customization like, ooh, this is fire. Alright, cool. I play the game, and I see these wonky animations. It's cool. It's Jump Force. Nothing can beat Jump Force. Okay. Now, I'm not fond of the hub. Not fond of the animations. I went and do a couple missions, and this story. Whew. Moving on from that, I tried to see what other game modes we could play. And now other game modes apart from story or the online PvP, or if you like playing against the CPU, all the other game modes apart from versus, online, or CPU and story mode are just either they're non-existent or just trash, because there is no incentive to play. Now people will play them because the combat is good. That is totally plausible. I just, I think I've just been burned out from the combat. Maybe that was just me, and I couldn't play. Because it's the same thing with Rage and Blast 2. Like, I love the combat, and that's why I was able to keep playing for an extended amount of time. Even though, it definitely had more game modes than this, but it didn't have a story mode. That's the only thing it didn't have. So you know what, never mind. Rage and Blast 2 can't be engaged, at least. Now, the more I played Jump Force, the more disappointed I kept getting at, mission design, the story, the other game modes, the customization options for your created character. Let me stop rambling. So to sum up my review on Jump Force, which I made an hour-long review for, link in the description or in the eye icon above, if anyone is interested. But I made an hour-long review on Jump Force. A main point on the hour-long review is that I did not get how anime games made on the PS2 that were two decades ago are better than this game, and that we as a community are moving backwards due to that. Now, fast forward to World Seeker. Reviews bombed this game. I was getting less hope. Well, it was like the opposite, right? I was getting more hype for Jump Force, while for World Seeker, it's just the hope was diminishing. I really was not going to get World Seeker, but I trusted the hope inside me and bought World Seeker. Now, after buying World Seeker, I was surprised at how much better the game was than I really thought. It was because of the negativity that I came with low expectations, and I still play this game to this very day. I'm baffled at how this was ever trash to begin with. I am blown away at how this was ever trash. Now, I'm not in denial. Of course, I know the game is not great by any means necessary. It's not a great game at all. But it's a good game. It's a decent game. I see a disconnect between people who actually played the game and people who watched the game. Everyone saw this as trash, either because, they can't sail or they can't play as their favorite character. Now, the latter is justified. The former, I don't know why. I don't know. Okay, I don't know why. Okay, for anime game standards, World Seeker shocked me on how quality an anime game can get. The sound design, the variety of enemy types, the graphics. I talked about all of this in my first impressions video, but the game is repetitive. You don't notice it as much as when you're playing high difficulties, because you're too busy trying to not get killed. Which is where the high difficulty is where I see the game shines. Now back onto Jump Force. I get that people like Jump Force, but I need people to look at this objectively and as a complete game. I think this is why my views on anime games are less popular. I see everything as a complete whole. Nothing is better than the other. Well, actually, they are. Not that. Just nothing. I take everything into account. I don't leave one thing because one thing is holistically better than another. Now, in Jump Force, it failed in every way apart from the combat, which isn't great at all. The combat isn't, by any means great. It's just, it's decent. It's, like I said, it's been done before. This is just basically Raging Blast 2 in a J-Stars type of, game. This is Raging Blast 3. Like, if you want to play Raging Blast 3, this is your game. Not even comparing this game on a level of AAA games, because that's what I feel like that's what everyone seems to do with World Seeker, is compare that to a AAA game. Whereas this, I'm not even comparing it to a AAA game, and it's still mediocre compared to other anime arena brawler standards. This game still falls far short of anime arena brawlers. For me, I think it's because of how Bandai put a serious stance on the marketing for this game. This game was introduced at E3, and I feel like it was supposed to be one of the best anime arena brawlers we've had to this day. That's what it felt like Bandai was trying to push on this game. I really can't see this game getting anything higher than a 5 out of 10. Because for me, like I said, I take the game from a holistic standpoint. I have 6 pillars on which I review anime arena brawlers based on, which are story, combat, game modes, graphics, characters, and gameplay. And I added in some others like character creation, the hub, which I also reviewed. So I see some reviews going for 6s and 7s out of 10. And I get it, they enjoyed their time with the game, so I'm not bashing them for their review. However, again, the only thing which gets a pass, which is the combat, is based on not even Rage and Blast, it's Budokai Tenkaichi 3. Well, the Rage and Blast series and the Budokai Tenkaichi series. And after playing Jump Force, I felt like we were moving backwards. Now, all jokes aside, I really want everyone to focus hugely and immensely on this statement I'm about to put out. This statement I'm about to say is very crucial to the state of the anime community and games. We are on the PS4, and if people can still hail Budokai Tenkaichi 3 as the best arena brawler of all time, there is something wrong. There is something inherently wrong with the games we're getting as of late. That a PS2 game which came out a decade ago, 2 decades ago, I don't know, I think one of them, it's either 2 decades ago or a decade ago, can be seen as, oh my god, seen as one of the best, or the best arena brawlers of all time. In 2019, if we can say Budokai Tenkaichi 3 is the best anime arena brawler of all time, then something is wrong. We're not getting good games, we're not getting better games. The future is supposed to be better than the past. And we're saying Budokai Tenkaichi 3 is the best anime arena brawler of all time. Something has to change. This is me being serious from now on. Let me stop. I'm going to stop playing. I came to the conclusion that anime gamers will only keep settling for games like this, which are shallow and mediocre. I had an argument on Twitter with Rhymestyle and his followers that Ultimate Tenkaichi wasn't a bad game. Nah, it was still bad, but go ahead.
Okay, let me clarify for, some people. Ultimate Tenkaichi was still a bad game. Let's not get that twisted. It was horrifying trash, some of the worst things I've ever seen. But that was because of its gameplay. Now, gameplay still trumps over everything in the fighting game. However, I don't overlook those other things. And because of that, I still see Ultimate Tenkaichi as doing a lot of things right while getting the main thing the one job it had wrong. That is all.
And that apart from the combat, if we could recycle the game, it would have been a great anime game. I agreed with people that the combat was trash, but we should still look at the game as a whole. Everything else was good about that game, and if we could fill that combat void, it would be a good game. But everyone couldn't see past the combat and just made jokes, even Rhymestyle sometimes. Some of them did agree, but majority disagreed. Now, I'm not here crying because I get their frustration. I also played Ultimate Tenkaichi. I hated the rock paper scissors style too, with a passion. But I love the QTEs, the character creation, which no anime game still has yet to beat on current consoles. The character creation on Ultimate Tenkaichi is still the best. I had people tell me that in these types of games, the combat is everything. And yet, the same people disliked and hated Rage and Blast 2 because it had no story, but its gameplay was amazing. That also says that Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm Generations should be the best Storm game because it had the best combat out of all the Storm games. Even though the story was bad, Burning Blood probably had the most technical arena brawler combat system. The closest thing we'll ever get to a competitive arena brawler. But because that didn't scream fun, and it wasn't as easy and fun to play as Storm, it was thrown to the wayside. Some even see Dragon Ball Fighters as trash because they did not enjoy the game as they did with Xenoverse. In Burning Blood, every character felt unique to their playstyle, and it was like a pure fighter in the sense that you can get away from combos until they were done, or the combo connections. How do you say that? When you keep pressing box or hit circle until like the combo is finished. That was not too long, in either like in Xenoverse or in Storm. Now, Storm games, which anime gamers put on a pedestal, is a bit overrated in my opinion. In terms of only combat, everything else in Storm is legit amazing. It's amazing. It's just, I think the reason people like Storm is how fun it feels. The story mode of the game, which were amazing in early Storm games, so even Storm is going back. The Storm games combat are poorly balanced and mediocre. This isn't me wanting every game to be competitive. I love arena brawlers. Raging Blast 2 and Burning Blood are my favorite arena brawlers, and I love their combat. I can't get into competitive fighters too, as they're too technical and not as fun for me objectively, but objectively they're better than combat and arena brawlers. Even though I might not like them as much, I can respect them as being better objectively. I think we can get fair and balanced mechanics without it being competitive. Like, for example, I just praised Burning Blood right now like it was one of the best anime combat ever. When characters were broken, mechanics were far from balanced at all. It wasn't fair. It was a flawed product. Storm games are just widely fun and enjoying, but not good as fighters. But everything else in Storm exceeds every anime game. That's why I think, to me personally, I think it's hailed as the best. Some of the best anime games we've received, which is the complete opposite of Jump Force. Because in Jump Force, everything is bad except for the combat. In terms of story, characters, game modes, overall features, everything, nothing hit. They hit different in Jump Force, and it ain't the good kind of different, it's the bad kind of different. I just came to the conclusion that they only cared about what they wanted to see and never cared about looking at the game as a whole. I wanted to change the way anime gamers saw their games so we could get better games. But with the way the community is, I don't know if we're going to get there. Jump Force made me see the detriment we are as a community. World Seeker didn't give me any hope as the community despised it without giving it the benefit of the doubt, without even trying the game. You really could try if you're on PC, because PlayStation, they tripping. You could really buy the game, play it for less than 2 hours, see if you really like it, and then refund or not. You can even refund if you still liked it.
Please don't do this. Don't even think about doing this. I have no idea why I put this in the script. I have no idea why I said this. Please don't do this. But I was just trying to say, at least give the game a chance first before, trashing the game. But that is not cool. Don't do that. That's like, these developers trying to get their money and you just over here ripping off. I mean, hey.
But not that World Seeker is a good game or a great anime game, but it was a good anime game. It wasn't a great anime game, and it wasn't a good game compared to AAA games, but it was a good anime game. And one of the most quality and complete experiences I've seen next to Xenoverse and Storm games. Because I don't say Fighters, because Fighters is the most quality we've had.
Okay, so I feel like this is the argument people were trying to go for when they said only the combat matters in the game. Because for Dragon Ball Fighters, I see Dragon Ball FighterZ as the most quality anime gaming experience we've ever had to this day. And for Jump Force, it's different because Dragon Ball FighterZ, you can say it's excused because the combat is good. Jump Force can't say that because it's not a pure fighter. Mechanics on Jump Force are not great. They're not the greatest we've seen. Or, you know, it doesn't even have to be the greatest. It's not great. It's just decent. Mediocre. Well, not mediocre. It's you know, it's kind of better than some of these anime games. But Dragon Ball FighterZ can be judged from fighting stance as a whole because we make tournaments for those. People play that based purely for the fighting aspect of Dragon Ball, you know, the fighter. Jump Force, you don't play that just for the fighting game. Jump Force, you play that because freaking that's why they even added character creation and everything. The combat in Jump Force is not everything to get. It doesn't have everything to give you for you to judge it purely based on the fighting aspect of it, like Dragon Ball FighterZ does. I think you get my point. So basically what I'm trying to say is you can judge Dragon Ball FighterZ purely based on the fighting aspect of it because the fighting gives you everything. You get tournaments off of those. People play that solely based on the fighting aspect. But for Jump Force, it's not purely a fighter. They even added all these stuff because they know, because the fighting is trash and you can't play a trash fighter based purely on the trash, you know, the fighting. I don't know how to put this, but I think you get my point.
In terms of anime games, that story was trash. I told you I look at stuff I look at stuff in a holistic manner. And even though FighterZ is one of the best, that story though, come on, like I'm just saying, go play the story for yourself and look at it. I'm being objective here. Nothing is off the hook. FighterZ is gonna get judged too. Omega Pro made a tweet that I completely agree with, and I think I'll have it on the screen. Basically stating our dilemma. Not only are we going to continue getting bad games, but people will buy them as they get to play with their favorite characters. Globku also made a tweet which will go on screen. Even OG Vex made a video on this. Some YouTubers realize this, but the fans, Bandai is a AAA publisher. They have the budget. CC2, CyberConnect 2 isn't an incompetent developer. They made JoJo's Bizarre Adventure All-Star Battle, which was a 2.5D fighter, and a good one. But it wasn't fun, so it got the Burning Blood treatment. Asura's Wrath, which is the great game and one of my favorites on the PS3, they made that game. Dix made Street Fighter 4 and 5 and the Budokai series before making Xenoverse. I don't know about Spike Chunsoft and Gambarion though. No, you know what? World Seeker brought to my attention what Gambarion can do, but they didn't go all the way with it. It was a game that was brought to life without experiencing its full potential. I saw a comment that stated that if Bandai was going to make an open world game, why not make it AAA? Either go all in or don't try at all with open world games. If not, just stick with fighters or, you know, save fighters or arena brawlers. And I was confused and astounded to this as to why he did not compare anime fighters to AAA games and AAA fighters, yet he chooses to compare open world games to AAA open world games. I feel like this was why World Seeker was just trash so much, because it was compared to AAA games. And you know, these brawlers, you know, I guess because they're brawlers, they're okay, it's cool. You can do that. You can do that. I want us as a community to vote to Bandai with only feedback and not our wallets no more. Okay? We'll get better games, trust me. It's gonna happen. Bandai, they want the money. Now, no, hold on. No. People actually think that if we stop buying these games, that Bandai are gonna stop making these games. Huh? Where does that logic come from? I guess because, first of all, Bleach is not a Bandai property. That's why we don't get any Bleach games. But these anime games are in Bandai's hands. And the more popular they are as a franchise, the more Bandai would want to make money out of them. For example, if we stop buying Naruto games, do you guys really think Bandai are gonna stop making Naruto games? You really think so? Naruto is one of the most, if not the most profitable anime franchise to ever, release. Bandai needs to understand that we want better games. These mediocre games like Black Clover, Jump Force, 7 Deadly Sins, and others, my worst fear is that we'll get to the PS5 and the only thing that will get better are the graphics and nothing more. Remember how, and this is not a big deal, but remember how we were told that when we get to the PS4, that we would have lasting stage destruction, like in Ultimate Tenkaichi, that would be a possibility. And now we've completely forgotten about that because, there are more pressing issues like the BS Bandai is pulling now with these games. This is my take on the state of anime games and these two latest games that were just released. These stories and characters which we love so much could be done greatly if done excellently. Please let me know how you guys feel on the matter. Please comment down below. I'd really like to know what you guys see or your guys' opinion on the current state of the anime community and games, and just your views on what games we're getting as of late. This has been UMax HD. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.